Hey YouTube, Magnum Prime here, and today we're looking at something absolutely fantastic, which is the Italian Gig version of the G1 Bruticus Giftset. Now, this is a replica version, polite word for knockoff. I'm assuming it's that, based on the price I paid for it. It'd be hilarious if it wasn't, because I'm about to unbox it and get it out and have a look at all the bits and play with it and stuff, so there we go. I mean, it looks absolutely incredible. Apologies for the shaky camera. This is obviously quite a big set, so I'm having to kind of do this Star Wars style. It looks sensational. I mean, compared to the original, I can't see any discernible differences. Compared to pictures I've found on Google. I think probably the tone of purple is slightly different to an original G1 Decepticon purple. Here's the Astrotrain box, which I made a video of that a few days ago, and it's a slightly different shade. Not much. In any case, it looks absolutely fantastic, the box. So yeah, let's crack it open and take a look. So here it is out of the box, and wow, it looks absolutely incredible. I think it's such a great idea doing the combiners in a gift set like this. It looks fantastic. I've got instructions which are in Italian as well. They've gone all out on this, really pushed the boat out on reproducing the original set. So yeah, here they all are. I've got my minty fresh G1 swindle that I uncarded a few weeks ago, and I'm going to do a detailed comparison with this swindle so we can see if there are any differences and just point those out. But yeah, let's get them out and take a proper look. So here they all are out of the box, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. They're of a really good quality. I'm quite surprised at just how good they are. So what I'll do is I'll kind of just point out a few things that I've noticed in vehicle mode, and then we'll go into bot mode after that. So just very quickly, swindle is the sort of obvious one, because you can see the windshield sticker is missing from here, so it's factory applied on the original, so it should be there, but also there's an indent for the rub sign. So this is a replica of the early issue of the Combaticons, and they all came with the rub signs on them, and Swindle had the indent there. You have to apply them yourselves on this, so that's one way of telling that it's a replica. The other thing, this is quite obscure, the little bump on here is a little bit further back on the replica version, KO version, which means that the windshield sits, so like on the original, it's at quite a perky angle there, but on the KO, it's much more swept back, and you can kind of see the difference there. Not massive, but it is a noticeable thing. Colours-wise, I can't see a difference. Plastic-wise, there is one, incidentally. So in the floor of the vehicle mode there, or floor of the inner bit, you can kind of see it's very shiny and very rainbow-like. It's very reflective, that's the word I was looking for. Whereas on the original, it's just matte. It doesn't catch the light in the same way. So they're obviously made from a very different plastic or production technique. I don't know what the difference is. The other one is Brawl. So the turret is very loose. It spins like a helicopter blade. But I actually noticed straight out of the box as well, the plastic on this is very different to the original, because I actually still have my G1 original Brawl. He's obviously a junker now, but this is one I was lucky enough to keep. I had to sell all my kind of good ones a few years ago. If you've watched one of my previous videos, you'll know the story behind that. But yeah, I noticed this straight away. It's very shiny, very smooth plastic, whereas this is a bit more matte and a bit more of a... It's got not a texture to it, but it is just different to feel. You can kind of see the differences there, the way they catch the light. Also, the KO is a slightly different shade of green to the original. It's subtle, but there is a difference there. For the other figures, I can't see anything different, to be honest. I didn't have the originals of these. I have, however, had Onslaught in hand, and I can't see anything at all that's different. I'm going from memory, obviously. I can't remember if this was quite so kind of floppy on the original. Obviously, it's got like a little notch there to kind of click it upwards. So I don't know about that. These two, though, if you pass me this, I wouldn't be able to say that this is a KO or a replica. It's just, they just look like absolute originals. So there we go. That's kind of like vehicle mode and just a few things that I've kind of picked up. If we flip to bot mode, and we'll show some more stuff. So here they are in bot mode, and at first glance, I have to say, they look fantastic in terms of display. They really do look good. And interestingly, they've got the metal chests, so this is like really recreating the original version, and we can kind of show its swindle here. So it's purple metal chest versus the grey plastic of the later release. That's pretty cool, to be honest. I wasn't expecting that. There are a couple of kind of QC issues on some of the die-cast metal and some of them, but you know, most of that's going to get stickered up, isn't it? The other thing that kind of stands out, they've been pretty brazen with this. They've put the Takara Hasbro stamp on the on each of the bots there. Interesting move, but there you go. That's what they've done. And one thing to point out is the vortex color. It's not apparent in alt mode, but here in bot mode, I think the green is a slightly different shade of green. To be honest, it's just ever so slightly off comparing it to photos. As I said, I don't have the original to make the proper comparison. When you zoom in up close, this is where it gets interesting, because the faces, I think some of these are slightly off, to be honest. So here's G1, original Swindle here on the right, and you can see he's just got a normal kind of facial expression, but they've given this guy a cheeky little grin. So there you go. It's not noticeable unless you get up close, but you can see it once you do. And also, just to highlight here, the eyes are not painted as well on this. You can see the one on the right there is kind of a lot smaller than the one on the left. You know, the original is just perfect. And actually, that's the theme across all of the bots, because the eyes have just not been painted that well. You can see on Brawl there, they're quite off. Let's get the original to compare. You know, I mean, it's knackered, this one. It's obviously old, but you can see it's properly painted, whereas this is just off center on one of them. And I don't think Vortex isn't too bad, actually. That's pretty okay. Blast Off, his is a little bit wonky as well, just a little bit off center. And then Onslaught, it just looks a bit dull, so it's just a kind of very dull kind of finish on the orange there. But you know, there's a kind of like tiny little things that you only notice really when you get up close. As I say, overall, presentationally, they look fantastic, to be honest. All the joints are tight and squeaky, as you'd expect from a new toy. So yeah. So look, let's get them stickered up and see what they look like. So here we go, all stickered up, all fully clothed. In terms of quality, the stickers themselves are decent, actually. They're really good. They're thick, they stick well. There's no kind of flaws in that respect. Looks wise, I think some of them are a little bit ropey. You know, there's kind of like a big sort of gap around the Decepticon symbol on quite a few of them. Probably the biggest issue for me is Onslaught stickers, because instead of purple, they've given him red. Which I'm not sure if that's right, if there's some variant that does that, but on all the pictures that I've gotten from memory as well, I thought these were purple, but there you go. They look pretty good, actually, and they're decent. For display purposes, they work fantastically. Okay, so let's get them into combine mode and take a look. So here he is, moment of truth. And for me, this is absolutely fantastic, because I've never actually had in hand a fully combined G1 Bruticus. So yes, it might be a replica, a knockoff, whatever, but for me personally, you know, nostalgia-wise, this is something I never saw, never had, so it's fantastic. And to see it all shiny and new and looking so good, it's just brilliant, frankly. In terms of the actual figure itself, all of the bits work fine. So like the ratchets for the arms are great, you know, you can kind of move them. It does kind of wobble these a bit, but I think that was probably there, wasn't it, on the original? You know, these shoulder bits were kind of a bit wobbly. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about articulation wise, because he's just kind of a big blocky bot, but he just looks fantastic. I think criticisms, the eyes could have been a little bit more vibrant. I think it's the same thing with the individual bots. They've just not applied the paint in a particularly good way. And it's strange, really, because if you look at this up on Blast Off, this is really vibrant and good and well applied. So it's strange that they didn't do the same for the face sculpts, but you know, there you go. One thing to point out, I forgot to mention on the sticker section, that Vortex doesn't come with the back stickers, you know, with the little Decepticon symbol. This is why it's really useful having that G1 guidebook, because you can kind of see all these little things. But do you know what? Still, overall, I mean, it's great. A great figure. So for me, you know, I said at the beginning of this journey, I wasn't going to get KOs, I wasn't going to get knockoffs. And to be honest, I would have stuck to that had I not seen this in that fantastic looking gig box. It just looks so cool, and I thought I've got to check it out, and I'm glad I did, to be honest, because it is a good set. It's not perfect, and yes, there are little flaws here and there, but do you know what? I mean, for, you know, to get a gig set, well, I mean, how much would that cost? A lot. Certainly a lot more than this. So to have the kind of experience, I think it's, for me, it's been worth it. Now, he's not going to be my permanent Bruticus. I think at some point I'm definitely going to pick up a G1 proper original. That's, you know, that is still on the cards. But for now, he's great stand-in. He's going to look great on display. The box looks good, and you know what? When his time is done, he can go back in the box. But for now, it's definitely. I'm really chuffed with that, actually. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've definitely enjoyed making it. And if anything, it's just kind of shown the kind of contents of this set. You know, you kind of know what you're expecting if you're thinking about picking one up. So yeah, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. It really helps me out. Massively appreciate it. And yeah, take care and bye for now.